All right, let's go out to Georgia and talk to Kristen. What's up, Kristen?
Hey, how are you, Dr. John?
Good. What are you up to?
I'm just sitting here at my house folding laundry.
Living the dream.
That's right.
The dream. Laundry just keeps happening, right?
It does, yes.
Oh, gosh. Man, folding laundry. It just seemed like the most futile thing. All right, so what's up? How can I help?
So I've written in previously to ask if you thought it would be a good idea if I spoke with my ex-husband's new girlfriend about his abuse.
No.
Well, there's an update because I actually did meet with her and talk to her.
Why did you do that?
Well, it was just something.
The great Frozen. She sang it best. Well, who was it? Was it Elsa? Elsa sang it best.
Yes. Yeah.
Just let it go. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. Okay, all right. So, oh man. So you have an ex-husband. He's dating again. You love that. And you felt the need. Were you trying to warn her about something?
I was trying to warn her that he is abusive.
Oh,
yes.
Gosh. Okay.
And I had spoken to like a mutual contact between her and me, and just to like get some advice. And the mutual contact was like, if it was me, I would want to know. And I kind of felt the same way. If it was me, I'd want to know. And
what kind of abuse? Physical abuse, like emotional abuse? He's just annoying. He lies a lot.
Emotional and verbal abuse. I think if we had stayed together, it probably would have turned physical because he was punching walls and kicking dogs and that type of thing.
All right, so you did something I would have told you don't do. Call in next time. Don't ask a mutual whatever. All right, so you did it. You've done it. How did it go?
It went really well. I really like her. She's great. She's very kind and gracious, and we sat and had coffee for about an hour and talked about it. And she thanked me for letting her know, and she said she hadn't seen any signs of that. And
of course she hasn't.
Right, exactly. Because we just got divorced. Like the divorce he filed in February of this year, it was finalized in May, and they started dating in I guess June or July of this year.
Oh, they were together before that.
That's what I'm thinking.
They were together before that. Yes. Okay. So I have to ask this question: Did it feel better? Because I know there's a part of you, yes, that wanted to warn a fellow sister out there. This might come, but I also know a big part of this was I can't freaking believe he's already dating again. He ruined my life. He's not getting away with this a second time.
It wasn't. I mean, I told her that I'm very happy for the both of them. Like I wish them the best, and I pray for him every day. I pray for them together every day. So it's not a jealousy thing. I kind of wish it was. I felt like it would be easier to get over if I was just jealous of her. But she has 4 kids, and she's also a foster mom. And I was like, I just felt that, and I kept praying about it, and it would not leave the back of my mind that, if it was me, I would want to know. And that I told her, I said, I don't want anybody to ever suffer the way that I have suffered from all of it.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of...
You did it. So what's your question now? Or maybe you don't even have one. You just wanted to share.
Well, I just wanted to know your opinion, but you let that go real fast.
Yeah. The only time I've ever seen this fruitful is when it comes the other way. When a new girlfriend or a new fiance or a new, a guy's about to get married and there's kids involved. So you've got, I don't know if do y'all have kids together?
Yes.
Okay. So there's kids involved.
And the abuse happened in front of the kids. And that was part of my thing. It's like, she has kids and foster kids, and he had no problem doing all of this in front of the kids.
Sure. Man, there's so many layers here. If you don't have a shred of jealousy, and maybe jealousy is the wrong word, but if you don't have a shred of vengeance in you, you're better off than 99.9998% of humanity.
Yeah,
And
I don't at all. I really, she is so good. And I told her, I was like, I really hope that like maybe you are what makes him change and makes him better, like for the kids' sake and everything. I mean, and for her, she's like, I know this is awkward, but it wasn't awkward for me.
sure.
I just wanted to warn her, but I mean, she's great. I mean,
Okay.
I really like her, and I hope that
What's the custody arrangement with your kids and him?
He gets them every first, third, and fifth weekends, and he gets them every Thursday night on his off weekends as well. So Thursday to Sunday, first, third, and fifth, and every Thursday night. Okay.
The only way I've ever seen it work really well is if two people sit down to talk about the kids. Like my husband's dating you. My kids are going to be in your life. Here's my expectations about my kids. I want to get to know the person who's going to be in the life of my children. I've seen that go well when everybody's acting like adults. I've seen it be a nightmare when people are acting like children. People act like adults. Then I've seen it go well. People are respectful. I've heard of men sitting down and saying, you're about to be in the life of my daughter because you're now dating my ex-wife. And here's my expectations for the men in the life of my daughter. And then I've heard a couple of times the other man, the new boyfriend, the new fiance, be very respectful. Like I'm appreciative that her dad loves her this much. And you've got my word and I'll call you, like all that kind of stuff. And then I've heard in a couple of rare cases when somebody calls and says, hey, this is a very personal, private conversation. This guy's screaming at me and swearing in front of my kids. Is this new or did you experience this too?
Right.
I've never seen it go well the other way, the way you did it. So maybe this is the first time ever. I would be stunned if she doesn't reach out and be like, so your ex-wife called and said you're abusive, and that just end real well.
Right.
So has he reached out to you and like, dude, what's your problem?
No, he hasn't at all. I don't know if she's talked to him about it or not. I told her that I went into this with the assumption that whatever I say would make it back to him.
Yeah, she would be a terrible girlfriend if she didn't.
So I haven't. If she has told him, he has not said anything to me.
Oh man. Whew. Why didn't the courts side with you?
We did mediation.
Why did you? Let me say it this way: if he was so abusive that you felt the need to go to his new girlfriend and say, "Watch out for your own safety," and at this time not physical safety but own psychological safety and the sheetrock in your house safety, why did you settle in a mediation for anything less than this? This monster can't be around my kids.
I was being told by my lawyer that would not happen. And I have hours of evidence of it towards the end. I mean, it got pretty bad to the point where he accused me of molesting our son. Mm-hmm. And apparently it just didn't matter because that was one of the things that I was upset about after mediation with what he got. And they said, well, that's the best you would have gotten if you had gone to court.
I totally disagree with that. I mean, if the abuse was as real as, if the abuse was so egregious, if it was a guy yelling in his house and saying and swearing in his house, some judges might not say that's abusive enough to take away a kid from his parent. But if it's as volatile as you said it was, so much that you need to be proactive with his new girlfriend, I think you may have got bad legal advice. Or your attorneys looked at what you're experiencing and they were like, it's not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah, and I had told my attorney that I wished that he had hit me because people would take it more seriously.
No, you don't. No.
Because because I felt like nobody was taking me seriously. Nobody was listening when it happened.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, I was letting everything roll off my back as it happened because they made us live together during the divorce part. And he just attacked me every single day.
They can't make you live together.
Yeah, they told us that we couldn't leave. I kept begging my lawyer. I was like, I sent email after email with, the evidence. I was like, it's
nobody,
I wanna leave,
they can't, you're not under house arrest. They can't make you stay in an apartment or in a home with
Oh, they said it would not go well if I left because I kept asking if we could move out, and they said no. And they told him the same thing, that it would look bad if we moved out.
What would look bad, hon? That's insane.
I have no idea. I guess when it came, because we had to sell the house, so I guess when it came to taking a stake of the equity, like I would be giving up my equity.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm not sure what it was.
Not if you moved into an apartment to keep from getting your brains beat in. That's nonsense.
Right. I mean, he would call me every name under the sun and like a disgusting everything.
That's just the most. I've never heard that in my life ever. There has to be something else here that I don't know about. I've never heard that in my life ever, ever, ever. In fact, I don't know the ins and outs of this case, and I'm not a legal professional, but I can see a great case for in the middle of mediation, you move out because it's so not safe. And that becomes part of the mediation, that he's created such a hostile living environment for you. But again, I'm not in there. It doesn't sound right at all. I've never, ever heard that. In this particular situation, there's a couple of things that have happened that I've never, ever, ever heard, ever. And I've been around some wild situations. And that doesn't mean anything. That maybe means this happens all the time, and it just goes swept under the rug and swept under the rug and swept under the rug. If I'm you, I can't recommend it enough that you've said your piece, you've talked to his new girlfriend, and this is the end of the road for that conversation. If you feel the need to have a conversation about your kid's safety or working with some of your kids, I'd recommend you do it with your husband or your ex-husband, and let that be that. And if you get signs of abuse, or if your kids come home and say, Dad's punching holes in the sheetrock again, I want you to call another attorney and walk them through every single thing you experienced and everything you went through and say, I can't have my kids around this anymore. I want to file suit for a new custody arrangement because my children aren't safe. But my hope is that you create another life, and you don't know his dating status unless he invites you in, or unless he's bringing somebody else home around your kids, and then you need to know that. But I want you to separate your life from his. You need time to heal, and you need time to, this whole thing just sounds like a mess, and I would pull myself out of it, and I would focus my time on my kids and on my kids' safety. And he's going to go do what he's going to go do. I hate that you're in this, man. It's just such a messy, messy mess. And it just sounds like you got some gross advice, or there's just other parts of the story. But I wish you the best, and I wish that you let there be a period at the end of this sentence and go on about healing and creating your new life, because you're worth peace. And right now you don't have that.